Sup guys. I want to talk about therapy, traditional therapy, talk therapy, and then energy, right? I want to combine it for you today. So with talk therapy, we go to talk therapy to talk. There's issues that we might be experiencing, depression, there's behaviors, emotions, and things we haven't processed, and we just don't understand why we are behaving the way that we are behaving, right? Traditional talk therapy. With energy work is a deeper approach. Let me explain. With talk therapy, once you get to the point to where you do understand, right? And you can, once you get to the point to where you're comfortable talking about the issues, right? You do understand. You can intellectualize it. You can flip it upside down. You can share it with other people, share your story with other people. You get to that point, right? But if you've experienced severe abuse, neglect, abusive relationships, anything traumatic, okay, your nervous system is affected. Your limbic system in your brain is affected. The limbic system in the brain controls our emotional center, our fear center. So that is dysregulated. Your nervous system gets stuck in fight or flight, or dorsal vagal, or shutdown. So I sat in talk therapy for over 20 some odd years. And like I said, I understood it, right? I thought I did anyway, but I understand. That's another thing with talk therapy, you need to find a really good talk therapist to really see results. I understood it. I could talk about it. I could share my story with others to help others, all the things. But internally, right, I still felt like crap. I still was angry, agitated, frustrated, people pleasing. I was still exhibiting behaviors, okay? And it was very, very frustrating because after investing that much time talking about it, right, why do I still feel this way? A year ago when I got into studying the limbic system, the nervous system, and energy, that's when I started working my nervous system, right? And reset my nervous system, pulled my nervous system out of fight or flight. That's when it kind of connected for me that there's more to this than simply talk therapy. Talk therapy helps a lot of people, but I think that if you've experienced a very traumatic childhood, I think that you're only going to get so far in talk therapy. Because if you've experienced a very traumatic childhood, your nervous system has been affected and so has your brain, right? In energy, over here on the West, what we focus on are the traditional 7. Think of yoga, the rainbow going up the spine, the red, orange, yellow going up the spine from root to crown, right? And what a lot of people don't know is that there's way more energy systems within us and around us that make up our entire aura. Have you ever met somebody whose energy was just dense, just heavy? You know, they are like the Eeyore spirit, just chronic depression, very low. That's dense energy, very heavy energy. Our energy systems within our body also are connected to emotional, physical, and psychological issues. If we start with the root energy system, some cultures believe it starts from the womb to a year and a half, from the womb to 2 years, or from the womb to 7 years. Either way, childhood, formative years, right? There are issues, like I said, tied to this chakra system, the root. It sits at the base of the spine, okay? It's the red one. Within each chakra system, each energy system, they spin. They're energy wheels that spin. Some are clockwise, some are counterclockwise. Different cultures, teachers, yogis say it differently, but I believe that everybody's wheels spin counterclockwise or clockwise dependent on that human being, okay? So the red inside of that, if you look at the picture of the wheel, there is an image of a lotus. Each wheel out of the 7 have a certain number of petals on that lotus. Inside of that red energy wheel, depending on how many petals are on that one, are how many energy vortexes inside of the wheel. So not only do you have the wheel, you have vortexes inside the wheel. Not only do you have vortexes inside that wheel that is connected to emotional, physical, and psychological issues, we have energy systems right outside of us, our physical body, right? Inches all the way out to 9 feet. And that is what makes up our aura, okay? The root energy system, that's our safety, that's our security, that's our self-worth, that's our self-identity. If in your childhood, remember, it's from womb, because whatever the mother is experiencing during pregnancy, the child is, right? Stress as well. Hormonal issues as well. So if in the womb, the mom is experiencing a chaotic experience, the child is already affected. That root chakra in the child, it's already affected. Okay? The mother's is already what it is. So then the child comes out, whatever environment a child is brought up in. Okay? Were the needs met? Was there emotional stability? Were their caregivers stable? Was there any kind of sexual abuse? Was there any kind of severe neglect? Anything like that? That is what dictates our attachment style as adults. That is what dictates how we love, what we think love is, how we communicate, how we connect. Psychology and energy, to me, are one and the same. It's just a different approach. So if your root chakra is disrupted in childhood, all of the other centers are going to be thrown off as well. In the root, if you do not feel safe in your body, it's not only from a psychological perspective of what you experienced in your childhood, but it is also connected to the energy system that holds that, your safety and security. So me going to talk therapy and speaking about my childhood and all the things that happened to me in my childhood, yes, was beneficial. Okay? But I did not heal my root until I started working my energy. Let me give you an example. For years, I complained about a pain in my tailbone. This is before I knew anything about anything I'm telling you right now. A pain, my friends can validate. And we used to joke and laugh and be like, dude, you're growing a tail. You're growing a tail, you're growing a tail. Ha 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 ha. Real life, after studying it, that's actually what it is. It is a tail, spirals into the earth to keep you rooted, okay? I currently, today in present time, I don't have these issues, but you know what it is for me? It's an indicator of when my stress is becoming too much. If I start feeling inflammation in my tailbone, I know I need I work my root every day, but I know I need to do some root work. Okay, but I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel it like that. It's not like that. I don't have that pain there anymore because I've been working my root and all of my energy systems for a year, my nervous system, everything for a year. So in talk therapy, I made it to a point to where it was like, okay, I could understand everything, but I was still experiencing agitation, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, the symptoms from all of the labels that all those doctors gave me, all of that. And then the pain in my tailbone. It wasn't just the pain in my tailbone. I had a lot of physical things that I didn't know was connected to the energy side of things. So the energy approach to healing is a way deeper approach. So can you imagine how I felt after spending 20 some odd years in talk therapy to realize that I still had an enormous amount of work to do? Stuff that was coming up as I was working my root energy system, I was just floored because I thought I dealt with this in talk therapy. But when you work energy, you're pulling it out of the body and releasing it and letting it go permanently. They're one and the same. And if you combine them, woo! There it is. Hope you guys have a good day.